Hello, my lovelies. Welcome to this episode of Coach Caris podcast, Itchy, Bitchy, and guests. I hope you are all well. This is a little short podcast today on imposter syndrome and the constant fear of not being able imposter syndrome and the constant fear of not being able to do your job. So yesterday I had a drama, right? Yesterday morning at my work, I was absolute fucking chaos, is probably the only word that I could, or the only sentence that I could use to sum up my coaching ability yesterday. It was absolutely shit. So, I have suffered from anxiety, right? If you follow me in the perimenopause, right, I am not an anxious person. I've never had anxiety in my life. I've never had imposter syndrome in my life. I've never really had self-doubt neither. And it hit me with a vengeance when I got diagnosed with the perimenopause. I would say the mental side of the perimenopause has been way worse than any of the physical symptoms, for me anyway, all right? So I'm just on here to do a quick little podcast on yesterday's chaotic disaster that I was, and what I'm going to do to sort it out or sort myself out, all right? And it's just reminded me that I actually have a freebie, 7 things you can do to help with self-doubt and imposter syndrome, which I am happy to give away. So I will post it on my socials when I'm promoting this podcast, all right? But just if you want it, so it's 7 things you can do to help with self-doubt and imposter syndrome. Just drop me a message on the socials, all right? I'm on Facebook and Instagram as Coach Caris. So yesterday morning, I was an absolute disaster, right? I was chaos. I could not figure out what I was meant to be doing in my coaching job. I couldn't really what we were meant to be doing to the people that I was coaching. It was an absolute disaster. I was crying. I was upset. There was a couple of things said that on any other day it would have been like water off a duck's back, and I would have took it in the manner that it was absolutely intended yesterday as a laugh and a joke. However, I completely took it to heart yesterday. I overreacted by not being able to keep my emotions in check and cried. The only redeeming factor that I have is at the end of the coaching session, I totally put my hand up and said, I apologise. I was being an absolute dick. I am really, really sorry. All is forgiven. So to be fair, I have seen them today and they did say to me, you did the right thing. I think you dealt with it very maturely. You just put your hand up and said you'd been an idiot. End of story. So it's totally cool. All right. So I just wanted to jump on here and 7 things you can do to help with self-doubt and imposter syndrome. All right. So here's the first thing that you can do, right? So first of all, what I want to say is imposter syndrome and self-doubt, right? Anxiety are all signs of the perimenopause, all right? They're all recognised symptoms of the perimenopause. It is a hard shift to stand in front of people and think that they might be thinking that you can't do your job or that you're incapable of doing your job. Right now, this is not a reflection on the people that you're standing in front of. Very rarely, very rarely will people actually think, oh my God, you are a fucking riot, you cannot do your job, all right? Especially when you have a proven track record that you can actually do your job, all right? This is more about the feelings that come from within and how you can deal with them and pretty much cut yourself some slack. So you need to accept it, acknowledge it, and let it go, all right? I fucked it up yesterday. It was entirely my fault for whatever reason. I put my hand up in the air. I apologised, and there is literally nothing else that I can do about this right now. 3 years ago, when this exact same situation happened, but it was so much worse, I carried a lot of guilt for a very long time, and all it does is it just dulls your sparkle, and it's not worth it. It really isn't worth it, right? People out there will forgive you instantly if you apologise, or even if you just say to them, I'm having a really shit day, right? We do not need to be perfect. We do not need to kid on that we are perfect. We are fucking human beings for a start, all right? So please do not beat yourself up, all right? Don't It's your imposter that's speaking to you, right? So when you're sitting there thinking to yourself, I'm going to get found out, or I don't know what I'm doing, right? That's the imposter person that's speaking. That's not you, all right? It is literally your brain being an absolute dick. You just need to acknowledge that you're feeling like this and move on. There's nothing else that you can do, all right? You need to remind yourself what you are capable of. If you're in the same job, I've been doing this job for 7 years, right? I am a bloody good coach. I actually know that I am a good coach, all right? But good people have bad days. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, all right? So let it go. Remind yourself what you are capable of. It's very easy to focus on the stuff that we fuck up, right? Which is usually very few and far between, but it's so easy to remember that one day out of the last 3 years that you had a shit hour. So please try and focus on all the other 23 hours of the day and all the other 360 however many days of the year that you were actually all over it. All right, so cut yourself some slack. I was just having a cup of tea there, just a wee sip. Right, you've probably got 10 to 20 years, 5 years, 8 years, 9 years, 7 years experience in the job that you're doing, all right? You are not shit at your job. Your imposter syndrome brain is just being a dick, all right? So get to know what your triggers are, right? I have been thinking a lot about this. Keep a track of your perimenal symptoms, all right? Keep a track of your monthly cycle. We should all be doing that anyway, all right? But note that over and above that, note down any big events, work meetings, social occasions, performance reviews. If you know that your imposter syndrome is going to flare up around about them, then prepare for it, all right? Write stuff down, remind yourself how awesome you are. Now, the only thing that I can think of that kicked me off yesterday was two things. First of all, I slept in, so I actually forgot to set my alarm, which is actually outrageous. But my ability at the moment to retain information and remember to do things is shit. All right, I fully expect my alarm to go off in the middle of this podcast, as it has done for the last however long. All right. The second thing that I think knocked me for six, and this has happened quite a lot, just not as bad, is that on a Wednesday, I'm not client facing on a Wednesday, so my foot comes off the gas slightly. I take the pressure off myself. I sometimes do some work on my laptop. I sometimes don't. I'll go away for a massage. I'll walk the dog. It's generally just me and the dog for the day, all right? But a lot of the time I wake up on a Thursday morning feeling that I don't actually quite have a grip of what's going on in my life. And I think it's a bit of that all or nothing mindset. I'm not about to start working my day off just so that I can keep my shit together on the Thursday morning, all right? Yesterday was particularly bad. But that's the only two things, and it was maybe just a combination of both, and hopefully it'll never happen again. Like, I will actually remember to set my alarm, and I will actually enjoy my day off, which I did at the time. But yesterday morning when I woke up, I did feel that I didn't have a grip of my life or the situation that I was going into, which is ridiculous because I've been going into that situation for 7 years. But anyway, so get to know what your triggers are. That's what I've been thinking about, all right? So I'm going to make an extra effort with a Thursday morning. So I've set an alarm. So I always check what I'm doing on the Wednesday night, but I've set an alarm just to recheck it before I go facing with everybody that I'm coaching, just to make sure that I know what I'm doing. And by the way, I coached 2 other sessions after this one that was an absolute disaster, and I fucking smashed it. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, right. So speak about it is top tip number 4 for imposter syndrome and self-doubt. I am here speaking about it, right? All right. Imposter syndrome can be isolating, right? But it's a very common perimenal symptom. Speak to somebody about it, right? Whether it's a work colleague, whether it's a pal, just speak to somebody about it, all right? 2 big advantages is you'll probably find someone who has felt the same way, which can be really helpful and can take the edge off and make you feel like less of a weirdo. This is why I'm on here speaking about this, because I don't want you to think that you are in there on your own. You're not, all right? We get it. We absolutely get it. All right. Also, when you keep your feelings a secret, so if something happens and you don't speak about it, we just get inside our head, right? And the problem gets bigger and bigger and bigger. We can be guilty of blowing it out of proportion, which obviously makes it harder to deal with. So just speak about it. Do you know, just put your hand up and say, look, I'm sorry, I'm an absolute dick today, or I'm having a bad 5 minutes. I can't think what I'm meant to be doing. Could somebody help you, right? Most other human beings are fucking decent. They will absolutely help you. 100%. Most human beings go out of their way to help other people. If you need help, ask. Yeah. Number 5, self-compassion. So, confidence and the perimenopause, they are totally linked, all right? Lack of confidence and confidence taking a dip is absolutely connected to the perimenopause, all right? Please remember, it is purely down to hormonal changes. It's not because your whole entire personality has changed and you have suddenly turned into this horrible person. It is your hormones. They are going riot. They're just running mental round your head and round your brain, all right? Be kind to yourself. Show yourself some compassion. Write down the things that you are proud of and write down the things that have went well, right? It'll take you 90 seconds. But the benefit that you will get from that 90 seconds will last like at least a day, 2 days, 3 days, all right? It will drag you out of that funk that you're in. I absolutely promise you, all right? Create boundaries, stick to them, and give yourself some time off, all right? So if you're stressed, if you feel that you're suffering from burnout, right, if you actually absolutely feel like your brain is going to explode because you've got too much to do, that is intrinsically linked with imposter syndrome. You need to set yourself some boundaries. Yeah, obviously your boundary can't be, I'm just not going to go to work, because that's not really realistic. But you need to set some boundaries, all right? Healthy boundaries. So you need to be able to leave your work at the door, which is hilarious because I'm actually really good at doing that, all right? I'm just literally putting it down to it was a shit day and a combination of sleeping in and being off the day before, all right? It is super important that you set your boundaries, but it's super, super important that you actually stick to your boundaries, right? So, for example, if you're opening emails at 9 p.m. at night or telling folk you're constantly available, all that's going to do is feed your anxiety that you're going to miss something or that you're going to drop the ball. And guess what that's going to do? It's going to make you miss something or drop the ball, all right? So, you're absolutely setting yourself up for a fall. You should absolutely, I don't care what your fucking job is, if you were the fucking queen, right, you are not accessible 24 hours a day. Absolutely not. You need to give yourself some time off, all right? The world will not end because you did not reply to that email immediately, or you did not reply to that WhatsApp immediately, all right? For every minute of the day you have your phone in your hand, you will be stressed. It might be low level stress, all right, but that's chronic as well, and that's not cool. You need to get away from your phones, my lovelies, all right. Number 7, look for a coach. If anybody knows a coach, I need a coach to stop me having a meltdown in public, all right, but it's never too late. And I'm not just speaking about gym coaches, I'm speaking about any kind of coaches, all right. A coach or a mentor, a fitness instructor or a menopause coach, anybody that you feel can help you, all right. Most of the time, could be a counsellor, by the way, sorry, missed that off the list. Most of the time, talking through it, the situation with somebody that A, has been there and understands it and has the ability to coach you, right, is so beneficial. It is unreal. They can give you their past experience, all right, but they'll also have an objective view on how you are professionally, like on your strengths and your abilities, and they can help you just overcome self-talk. That is my top tip, guy, all right? 7 things you can do to help with self-doubt and imposter syndrome. If you want it all on one pretty little sheet, drop me a message on my Insta or my Facebook, Coach Caris, on both of those things, and I will send it to you. My lovelies, thank you very much for listening. I am over the fact that I was a dick yesterday morning. I cried, by the way, as well, which is not cool. But you're not alone. If you've got any things that you are struggling with, all right, speak to somebody. Definitely 100%, my lovelies. All right, have a good day. Bye-bye.